Right. Dubois v Gorman, the O2 Arena, 13th of July 2019. They put his name first, Nathan.
I know, shockingly, innit? I'm going to have to cover it up, but Gorman v Dubois and I. Yeah, it's here now, innit? The British title at stake. Probably two of the best prospects, heavyweight prospects in the world, if as such, going at it for the most prestige belt in the world. So it's here, you know, we've only got 2 months to go. That'll fly by. You know, I'm flying in the gym at the minute. You know, I'm really looking forward to putting on a show. I really am.
You seem to have been, shall I say, chirping about this fight for a couple of years now, and he hasn't really said anything, but you finally got it.
He doesn't say much, does he, at all, to be fair, bless him. But yeah, I've been chirping. Like Rick said, you know, there's no lies in what Rick was saying. The minute he turned pro, I said to Rick, I said, and I'm not this type of character, I said, that's the fight I want. You know, whenever that fight can be made, Rick, that's the fight I want. And he always said, listen, yeah, let it build, blah, 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 blah. And obviously, Frank's got it at the right time now for the British title. You know, he's struck while the iron's hot. And we're here now fighting for the best belt in boxing, is it? I'd like to agree so.
Do you get the feeling he wants it as much as you, or he's just not that bothered who you put in front of him?
I don't think he's bothered, is he? He's not interested. He's just, he is what he is, Daniel. In my personal opinion, I want it a hell of a lot. I'm prepared to do a lot to get that belt.
Is there something in you but kind of thinks he's been the poster boy of the organisation, and maybe you want to sort of knock him off his perch?
Yeah, of course he is. Listen, he's big, he's got a nice big six-pack. I haven't, so he looks good in photos, doesn't he? But it is what it is, mate. When I knock him off the perch, then I'll take over from there. When I'll be the number one, I'll be the golden goose then. But until then, I'm happy to be the underdog, which I'd imagine on all the bookies and etc. I haven't looked, but I'd imagine I will be the underdog going into this fight.
Why?
Don't know. People just write me off, wouldn't they? You know, they'll look at him, you know, the way he's built and everything, and think, "Oh, he looks handy." But if it was a bodybuilding competition, he'd win Mr. Olympia. But it isn't. It's fighting, and that's one thing I can do really good is fight.
Has he fought better people than you?
Far from it. How was he? When you think about it, mate, who has he fought really? No respects. I fought Kevin Johnson. I fought Cajano. So we basically fought on parity of opponents. You can't really go off Larty's last opponent. I think he had to dye his beard to cover up his grey hair. You know, that big orange beard he had. But
I'm just trying to work out why you think you're so certain he's going to be the favourite.
Yeah.
I mean, do you just think it's maybe spectacular knockouts, maybe?
It could be the knockout reel. That's the thing. It could be. Probably is.
You've been a little bit frustrated over your last 3 fights, but you've actually had to go to distance, and you haven't been able to post any statements out there.
No, of course not, because to be honest with you, mate, in them 3 fights I've had about a week's notice for all 3 of them, you know, with pull-outs and etc. and whatever. And you can ask any fighter in the world, when you've got a survivor in front of you, it's extremely hard to look good against, and you can't get motivated from, because you know for a certain fact, you know, they're there to do what they do. So
when I spoke to you yesterday, I suggested, but there might be a public perception when people are doing their predictions, but the likelihood is of you winning on points or Daniel winning via knockout. Now, you rejected that suggestion. Can you explain it again?
Yeah, we've been working. Listen, I can't say too much what we've been working on in the gym, but we're working on a lot of things, and I think you're going to see a different Nathan Gorman come July the 13th. I don't believe it's going to go to points. I really don't, because we're rivals. He doesn't like me, I don't like him, and we're just going to get down to business. You know, we're going to get in the middle of the ring. I think we're just going to throw bombs. I really do. He hasn't got the style to jab and move, and I want to punch his head in. I
think people view you as being the more technical, you know, possibly a little bit more nimble.
Listen, I'm not going to lose that, am I? That's still in my locker. That's up there. But if it comes down to that, I'm going to revert to that, am I? But there is going to be some exciting moments where I think people are going to be on the edge of the seats in this fight.
Did you take anything from his hook off against Larty?
He got caught, didn't he? You know,
he stood up as well, though.
He stood up, but how old's Larty again? 27, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There again, I'm 22 and I'm bald, so you can't really say anything there, can you? But I don't dye my beard orange, I cover up the grey hair. He took a punch. When I first watched Larty on the YouTube, because obviously I've watched him, I thought this won't go around. You know, I thought Daniel's going to hit him and fold him in 2, because to be fair, he was struggling with cruiserweights, no disrespects. But he gives Daniel some problems, didn't he? I wasn't expecting it. And he caught him, and they had a bit of a rally in the 3rd or 4th round, and then obviously Daniel just caught him properly, and it was the fight ender. But that's Richard Larty, isn't it? It is what it is.
I think from talking to you in the past, and I don't know if you want to say this now, but you perhaps question Daniel's reputation as a concussive puncher.
Yeah. I've shared the ring with him numerous occasions. Yeah, it's 3 or 4 years ago, but unless he's developed a monstrous power, there's nothing really can trouble me. You know what I mean? People are yet to see how tough I am. I'm a very tough man. But there's also no awards in being a tough man in boxing, is there? You know what I mean? So I'll avoid them punches.
It sounds like this is just the fight you've been waiting for to bring out the real you, if you like.
Exactly. I'm raring to go. You know, since day one I've been waiting for this fight, and it's here. It's not far away. It's around the corner. Let's say these 2 months will fly by, and we'll be ready to rock and roll.
There's obviously been a lot of talk about this GB sparring, and you said out of 200-300 rounds, you don't think you lost one of them. There'd be some go in that.
Truthfully, mate, I really don't. You know, I really don't. He never put me up on the question, did he? He said, "Oh, I was only 18 years of age. I was only 19." So he was basically saying, "Yeah, you're right, Nath, but I was only 18." That has nothing to do with it, does it?
Maybe he's a young 18 and you're an old 19, maybe.
Possibly, but come on. Mike Tyson was a world champion at 20, so.
During those 200 to 300 rounds, did either of you hit the canvas?
No.
Rocked?
I wasn't rocked. I don't know about him.
Just finally, what's Mr. Fury have to say about this fight? Obviously, we're based in the same gym now.
Yeah, obviously, he's backing me 100% this Tyson. You know, he fully believes I have the ingredients to beat Daniel, which so do I. And yeah, you know, it's good to work with, you know, be around with the heavyweight champion of the world as such. You know, little things he does in his training I can pick up, and little manoeuvres he does I can try and mimic them. So it's fantastic to have him in the gym. It really is.
Just want to do a finally with you now. Just under a month before your fight, you got Warrington Galahad taking place in Leeds. Talk to me about that fight.
Very good fight. I've never seen Galahad up close and personal. I know Ricky has, because we used to have a world champion in our gym, Zakyanov, and Ricky used to take him sparring up at Sheffield, and Ricky used to tell me about Kid Galahad and all the boys in the gym. You know, he can fight. Well, obviously he can fight because he's fighting for a world title. But to be honest with you, mate, I've ripped Josh Warrington off twice now. You know, first against Lee Selby and second against Carl Frampton. So, as much as I like the pair of them, I don't want to write Josh Warrington off again, because I've got it wrong twice on the bounce this time.
So you're going with Josh?
I am gonna. If I had to put my last pound on it, I'd go with Josh. Yeah, but it's anyone's game, and it's 50-50. I really do believe that.
Nath, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.